Hello and welcome to the Hot Dog and Handshake Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Jayden Ginsweider. Joining me is my co-host, Shane Price. Shane, how you doing this week?
Tired,
yeah. All right, for this week's collar and elbow question, I have a game thanks to the Bread Basket, an account on TikTok. It is Odd Man Out. So I gave you a little collage I put together with 10 wrestlers so you can look at them, kind of visualize. And you have 3 questions to narrow it down which wrestler doesn't belong. And then once we've narrowed it, whether you narrow it down or not, you'll have to guess why they don't belong. So the 10 wrestlers are MVP, Logan Paul, Umaga, Shelton Benjamin, Seth Rollins, Jon Moxley, Kofi Kingston, Randy Orton, Eddie Guerrero, and John Cena. So what's your first question?
I mean, this one is going to get rid of like one person, but did they wrestle in the 2000s?
What?
They wrestled in the 2000s?
Yes, they wrestled in the 2000s.
Yeah, okay, so I think it's one person.
Yes. So that eliminates Logan Paul for you.
Are they best known for a mid-card run?
Yes, I would say they're best known as a mid-carder. So that eliminates Rollins, Moxley, Orton, Eddie, and Cena.
Yeah.
Shelton, Kofi, and MVP left, and Umaga left with as mid-carders. One more question.
Did they wrestle in the 2010s?
No, they did not wrestle in the 2010s.
Okay. All right.
So
it's Umaga.
It's Umaga. Yes. Do you know what the category is?
People under 280?
No. Umaga is the only person on this list that has not won the WWE United States Championship.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he might also be, he's probably the heaviest on this list also. That does count. But the category I was looking for was he has not won the United States title.
I wouldn't have guessed that. I don't.
Yeah. That's what...
It's a tough one.
So, of course, MVP, well known for his long title reign. Logan Paul, currently the champion. Shelton Benjamin, Seth Rollins, Kofi, Orton, Eddie Guerrero, the first WWE United States champion. And, of course, John Cena. So,
can you put something like WCW in there? I would have been even more confused.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to make sure it was specifically the WWE title, because technically that title holds the lineage of the WCW title.
Yeah.
But I want to be more specific, make sure they all won. So that was just a fun little game to start. On to outside the ring news. Let's start with AEW. They announced this week a bit of a residency in Arlington, Texas. So 5 of the last 6 collisions before All In, not the last collision before All In, but the 5 before that, will all be in Arlington, Texas, as well as ROH Death Before Dishonor. So what do you think of this model of touring?
I think it works when you go out of the country for one night and then come right back. So...
Well, what also works about this is, remember, Dynamite will still be touring around the country for that 6 weeks. So
yeah, but it would make more sense if it was still a CM Punk era of Collision when it was a roster split and I was happier. But I guess for people like Brody who Brody or House of Black or other guys who are Collision only, it'll give them a good chance to just rest up and recuperate before.
Yeah. And I think it's just an interesting idea to test out. If it makes money for the company to do it this way, that might work. You might see them 2025 around Double or Nothing doing like a full month in Vegas, or doing one in LA, New York, Chicago. Just go into a big market that'll draw people in. And now, if you're planning a trip to Dallas in July, AEW Collision is something you can do. It's something you can add to like a big trip to one of these cities. So
yeah, I mean,
I like that.
I'm glad that AEW didn't do this year in Vegas. I would have my heartstrings torn.
ROH Texas pay-per-view crowds alone have earned this.
Oh no, yeah.
Texas crowds have been on fire recently,
especially with last year's Death Before Dishonor.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty great. Next up, the Young Bucks have teamed with Reebok for new pump shoes. What did you think of the Young Bucks shoes?
These look so dumb that I might be buying one.
They're so Young Bucks.
They are so extremely Matthew and Nicholas Jackson.
Yeah.
Not even Matt and Nick.
Yeah.
They are Matthew and Nicholas.
But I think they're pretty cool. If they weren't obviously going to be crazy expensive, I would maybe.
If they were like 120 up, I would have bought them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then last bit of AEW news here: All Out moved back a week. It'll now be September 7th, giving us 2 weeks between All In and All Out, which I still think isn't enough for a pay-per-view build, but at least it's something. So it's just, I mean, I don't really think we need to have opinions on this. I think it's good, but
it's good. I'm really interested to see how this affects like GCW.
Does GCW have a show that same night?
They run the weekend in Chicago, so
okay.
I mean, I'm just curious about that.
Mm-hmm.
But also, and again, it's good, but you don't really need a build up to All Out. Really, what All Out should be in the future, because Chicago gets like 2 shows a year.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the only year you do in Chicago. Make it big. If it's not, make it just All Out, All In again, like a smaller All In, if like shorter matches.
Mm-hmm. The aftermath of All In, kind of.
Like kind of like a Backlash kind of sort of.
That's what I was actually. That's the exact thing I was going to say. What Backlash was in the 2000s. It was the aftermath. It was the backlash of WrestleMania. So, yeah. In WWE adjacent news, Brandy Rhodes, the wife of WWE champion Cody Rhodes, was diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis. She underwent successful surgery for it. She will be fine, but that wasn't the news today. So, our thoughts and prayers out with the Rhodes family. Hope she recovers well from this. Outside of the 2 major American companies, we do have Best of Super Juniors going on. Standings for this. In the A block, we have El Desperado, Blake Christian, and Titan. Oh, and Clark Connors, all with 8 points. Kevin Knight and Hayata have 6 points. Kosei Fujita and Yoshinobu Kanemaru have 4 points. Oh, and also Bushi and TJP have 4 points. So a tightly contested A block this year.
A block's looking good. No other complaints there, I guess. I mean, all those guys are pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the whole field's really good this year.
Yeah, definitely.
I caught one of Dragon Dia's matches. He hasn't been winning matches, but man, he's cool. I like Dragon Dia.
You should watch Dragon Gate.
Yeah.
You should watch more Dragon Gate.
Yeah. Kushida is leading the B block with 8 points. Taiji Ishimori, Robbie Eagles, Hiromu Takahashi, Doki, and Drilla Maloney all have 6 points. And then Sho, Ninja Mac, and Francesco Kira have 4 points. Dragon Dia, 0 points.
Dragon Dia is being criminally misused. And who has the 4 points again? Is that?
It was Sho, Ninja Mac, and Akira.
And then Ninja Mac's been, I'm obviously my best surprise of the tournament.
Yeah. I've seen some awesome highlights from Ninja Mac in this tournament. He's going out.
I've seen him in person in a scramble match. Like I know what he can do.
And then, of course, Francesco Akira, we found out, has a knee injury. Excuse me. He will have to miss the rest of Best of Super Juniors. I assume the opponents he had left to face, which he had wrestled 5 of his 9 matches, so the 4 left will just get a free 2 points.
Dragon Dia is going to get a point.
And so, unfortunate for that, big injury bug in wrestling right now.
Absolutely. So it's around this time of year where it gets really bad.
Yep. And then Julia suffers a wrist injury at the first Marigold show. This is typically like a 6 to 9 week injury, so she'll be out a month and a half, 2 months.
So she'll probably miss. She's going to miss the Hana Kimura show. She's probably going to miss the Julia Saray match. She'll miss Heat Wave. If she was even scheduled for Heat Wave, she'll probably be missing that.
So, of course, Julia is planned to go to WWE at some point. Still wrestling in Japan.
Whenever. We're not really sure. I'm assuming whenever they do that singles match, that Saray's going to win.
Mm-hmm. So, unfortunate to see her out. She's a great wrestler, but it happens. Moving on to what we saw on TV this week. Let's start with AEW. On Dynamite, just a couple of things happened, not too eventful Dynamite. The Young Bucks fired Christopher Daniels. So what do you think of this story?
I think I know exactly where this is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Say it.
He's hot. He's spicy. He tastes great. It's got to be Curry Man.
Think he comes back as Curry Man?
It's got to be Curry Man.
Does he come back as Curry Man at Anarchy in the Arena and hit the Young Bucks?
That would be the way to go.
I think it would
either that or Fallen Angel, which at the end of that he wasn't Christopher Daniels, he was just the Fallen Angel. You do either gimmick, and I'd be happy if they did one.
Yep. And then we had an awesome Continental title match between Okada and Dax Harwood.
Which is
really like that.
Incredible.
Afterwards, in the big melee, Darby Allin returned. Darby Allin, who recently broke his foot and then was hit by a bus, returned already. He's definitely not 100% clear.
I think his 100% is 50% from everybody else.
Well, I mean, think about what he's put his body through. Just this year, he jumped off of a 12-foot ladder that was in the ring, through a pane of glass that was outside of the ring, and then broke his ankle or his foot or whatever, and then got hit by a bus.
You notice how none of these involve Brody King, though?
It's interesting. Brody King did claim on Twitter to have been driving the bus.
I believe it. I think he would have a CDL. He's in a hardcore band. I mean, you know.
So yeah, that's Darby Allin will be Eddie Kingston's replacement, who's also injured because
he took a bump.
Everyone we like is getting injured.
Well, Eddie Kingston's
right now
bump on the outside, and his
leg just hit the guardrail.
His the behind of his knees just hit the guardrail, which is going to mess up a ligament or two.
Have you seen the video a fan took of it, like the different angle?
No, I didn't see the fan.
You can see him realize it immediately that he messed something up in his knee.
Because it's like I hurt that exact area in my knee, and it's almost instantaneous.
So, and then on Collision, though, a bit of a better show. What do you think of Will Ospreay versus Shane Taylor?
I'm a big Shane Taylor guy, so this is exciting to see. I'm a big fan of Shane Taylor. Will Ospreay, I mean, say what you love about him outside the ring, he's easily maybe like top 5 right now.
The spot where Shane Taylor was on the top turnbuckle and he pulled him down and hit the Storm Driver on such a huge dude, insane.
Yeah, if you don't know, Shane Taylor is a big man.
He's a huge dude. That was crazy.
He sat like a section away from me in a place they didn't sell at Ring of Honor Global Wars in 2017, and this dude had a whole jug of water, was drinking it. He was the biggest wrestler I've ever seen in person.
Yeah, he's huge. And then I think Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli's dynamic in promos might be my favorite going right now. Just the way they cut a promo on Dynamite and just the way that they are together, it's just so perfect.
Do you remember
their energy matches so well?
Do you remember when Claudio gave a post-show speech at the Dynamite we went to, and I think it was him and Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah, it was him and Wheeler,
and he gave himself a nickname. Listen, it's just the
Ham and Swiss.
The chemistry between the Blackpool Combat Club is just, it seems so natural.
And also, Claudio has such a different chemistry with each member.
He does.
Have you noticed that?
He really does.
Yeah.
Him and Danielson are just going to beat you up.
Yeah. Him and Moxley are going to beat you up and have a lot of fun doing it. And then he's also Wheeler Yuta's dad.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. And when we saw the Bullet Club Gold attack Pac, what do you think of this? What do you think of Death Triangle Bullet Club Gold?
I think it's going to be exciting.
Yeah. Do you think it gets added to Double or Nothing before this weekend?
No, probably not.
Probably not. All right. We'll see. Then we had Serena Deeb versus Anna Jay, which I thought was a pretty good match.
It's a pretty good match.
Anna Jay, she's been doing Ring of Honor mostly for the past few months, and she's really shown some improvement. Really,
she really felt lost before this, so it's nice to see her coming back with a vengeance or such.
Yep. And then on Rampage, I didn't have time to get to this, but I heard a lot of good things about Kyle O'Reilly versus Lee Moriarty, which of course that's probably a hard-hitting match.
I didn't watch Rampage because it was a weird time, but I'm
not a fan of the
sounds
Collision fun. Rampage 3-hour block, but at least they split it up to where hey, the third hour of this is really for the deepest of the deepest AEW fans.
Yeah, it's the Rampage.
If Raw was like that, it would be much better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it was a 2-hour show and then it was like, all right, here you go. Here's Ricochet versus Johnny Gargano or whatever. You know what I mean? Just here's some good matches for this third hour.
Ilya versus Gunther part 17.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe not that high of a match, but good mid card guys. Here's Ilya versus Xavier Woods this week or whatever. You know what I mean?
Ilya versus Ricochet.
But speaking of Raw and these guys, let's move on to talking about Raw. We do technically, because we're recording this a day later than we usually do, we have 2 Raws to talk about. Not much happened 2 weeks ago that didn't really affect this week. So, first of all, I want to talk about the Raw World title scene. Because, of course, we have Damian Priest as the champion, but we have 5 awesome contenders sitting right there, right?
Yeah, he's not holding his for long.
Yeah, because Drew is in the mix, which means also CM Punk is in the mix. Finn Balor's right there, ready to turn on him at any moment. Gunther has said that he wants a shot at Priest, and Sheamus has also mentioned that he wants to be in the world title scene. So, all on TV, of course. So that's quite the elimination chamber right there, if you ask me.
I would assume elimination chamber would be fun. That's over a year away.
Yeah, I know. Well, they do that. If it was like 2006, where elimination chamber wasn't a set event every year or whatever.
This feels like a situation to be resolved before Bash at Berlin, which means I think Gunther's going to get a title shot, and probably a title.
Yeah, it could be Gunther. I mean, the next pay-per-view after King and Queen of the Ring is Clash of the Castle. So Drew would probably in Scotland.
Drew, Scotland, Gunther. Because I think Gunther's.
All right, hear me out.
Fast track.
In Scotland, 5-man ladder match. Priest, Drew, Balor, Gunther, Sheamus. Punk costs Drew the belt in his home. Really gets some heat. In the second Clash of the Castle, the second time somebody has cost Drew the title. I guess they want Punk to be the babyface, though, don't they?
Let's be real. Drew's the heel. That's not going to turn nobody. That's not going to turn Punk or Drew.
Yeah. I don't know. Or maybe just all 6 of them in a ladder match would be kind of awesome. Except for, I don't know, who knows, Punk's quad would explode this time or something.
Punk comes out. I was born of glass bones, paper skin,
Yeah.
Just comes out like a full cast and still gets hurt.
All right, moving on. King of the Ring. So 2 weeks ago, we saw the Raw quarterfinals, which were Gunther beating Kofi and Jey Uso beating Ilya. First of all, what did you think of the Uso over Ilya decision?
No,
you don't like it?
No, that's I'm not. I choose to not think about it because I don't like it.
Yeah. Who did Uso beat to move forward? Balor.
He beat Balor, which is okay.
If Balor had beat Uso and then Balor beat Ilya, what would you think of it?
I think it'd be better. I think Balor, especially if it would be like,
because it feels like we're not doing Gunther Ilya on Raw yet.
We're not doing Gunther Ilya on Raw in Greenville, North Carolina.
Greensboro,
North Carolina. That's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Okay. But then, of course, Gunther beat Jey, so all is right in the world.
Yes.
He will face either Orton or Tama Tonga on the pay-per-view. We'll see how it goes.
The weirdly, Bloodline podcast with those 2 guys have been throwing a fit over it.
Yeah.
They said that they need to reverse the decision.
And have it be Jey Uso versus Tama Tonga is what they want, I'm assuming.
Oh.
That's not good. Dude, Jey Uso...
Oh.
I love him. I love the Uso brothers. The Uso Penitentiary, SmackDown Live era Usos were awesome. His work in the pandemic with Roman Reigns was awesome. This current run just isn't hitting me. One, incredibly cringe, right? It was cringe in 2019. It was cringe pre-pandemic. And he's just started rocking with it now.
It's funny because Jey and Tama Tonga would be a match that was so much better in 2017, but it's 2024.
Exactly, yeah. Also, I cannot wait for 2029 when he's Jey bussin' Uso. You know what I mean? When he finally catches on to that one. And then, in the match with Ilya, he threw a spear where there was no follow-through. He bounced off of Ilya.
Which should make Ilya like a superstar.
Yeah, Ilya still fell, but he bounced off of him like somebody trying to spear Sting when Sting is doing his Hulk up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Moving on to the Queen side, Io Sky beats Shayna Baszler. Lyra Valkyria beats Zoe Stark, and in kind of an upset, Lyra Valkyria beats Io Sky. What did you think of this? What did you think of that decision?
I think that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So I wasn't that mad.
I just mean, Io
I'm
was
still kind of mad, but like
a month and a half ago. Io was WWE Women's Champion.
Yeah, but you know how that works. After you lose a championship, you got to go on like a losing streak.
I guess,
and recapture yourself, find yourself in the mountains of like Scotland.
What I do like about this is that I think Lyra could have the most fun as a character with the Queen.
Oh no,
be some like Gaelic bird queen or whatever.
Gunther and Lyra probably are the most.
Because Gunther feels like monarch-y, but Lyra feels like a fantasy world queen, like Queen of the Elves.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So I think she could have fun with it. I think she will face the winner of Bianca or Nia Jax. I think it'll be Bianca. I don't think you do. At this point, you don't do a Saudi show without Bianca. She's just so over.
She's the most over you have.
I mean, Jane Cena is what we've called her before. So,
Law Bianca wins.
Yeah. Let's see. 2 weeks ago, Finn Balor and JD McDonough won the #1 contendership to the World Tag Titles in a fatal 4-way. I don't really like this. I'm kind of tired of Judgment. I mean, it's been like a whole year. I'm kind of tired of Judgment Day being in the tag picture.
JD McDonough's highlight of his main roster WWE career is when he was at Mania and got bounced almost hitting the guardrail. That's all he's done.
Well, just wait till he wrestles Braun Strowman next week. Braun Strowman might actually rip his giant head off.
Braun Breaker would probably spear through him.
Not Braun Breaker, Braun Strowman.
I was saying, if he had to go and win in Braun squash matches, he might spear through him.
Mm-hmm. Also, Vince McMahon probably seething somewhere that there's 2 Brauns on the same show. I bet he hates that. And then, Awesome Truth retained the titles this week. I honestly thought Awesome Truth should have lost a few weeks ago to DIY.
We are.
Yeah, but because I think it would have been fine to just be a couple week long reign. Like, this doesn't have to have a long reign.
But they won it at Mania, so it kind of adds a few weeks here and there too. So
yeah, I guess that's true.
They'll lose it at Saudi, but it's just a fun team.
Yeah. Next up we have, let's see. And of course on Raw this week we saw Chad Gable chatting with the Creed brothers. So that was kind of.
Can you say?
We talked about it a little bit.
Team Angle.
Yeah, it had been talked about a little bit online that was looking like the direction they were going. It looks like that's confirmed. They're gonna win. I mean, we saw this week Maxine wouldn't interfere in the match for him. Akira Tozawa wouldn't interfere in the match for him. Otis did, but then went back and apologized to Sami Zayn after, which Chad Gable praised for his, like, quote-unquote mind games, but it was really just Otis sincerely apologizing, which is awesome. I love Chad Gable, man.
Chad
Gable rules.
It really feels like he's going on, like, his Angle run.
Yeah, how in 2016 or 17 or whatever, when Vince decided they were going to do a storyline where one of the members of Alpha Academy was Kurt Angle's son, how did he pick Jason Jordan? How did he not pick Chad Gable? It's right there.
Because he obviously saw more Jason Jordan. That's why he's the producer still.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Which apparently he's a good producer.
No, I mean that's why he became a producer, but he's been pretty good at the whole thing. So.
And then, of course, on SmackDown last week, we saw Tama Tonga defeat LA Knight. Bad decision. Randy Orton defeating Carmelo Hayes in an awesome match.
I mean, that was going to be
Orton
awesome
and Carmelo
match
ruled.
way.
On the Queen side, Bianca beat Tiffany Stratton, and Nia Jax beats Jade Cargill by disqualification.
Dumb.
Why did we do this? This feels.
Why did you ever rehire Nia Jax?
I don't know, but because Nia gets a chair out, Jade blocks it, and then just hits her in front of the referee. Like, what are we doing? Do you want us to think Jade's stupid? Is that what this is?
Obviously, she's from AEW.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
They didn't teach her right.
Okay. And then on SmackDown, Logan Paul pulled his title out of his match with Cody Rhodes, so it will just be for the WWE title. Which makes a little bit more sense, but still is dumb.
First of all, why would you give him another title shot? What has he done to deserve it? And also, why did you even have it in the first place?
I mean, the real life reason, because he gets clicks on the internet,
well, obviously,
and because he's over. The in kayfabe reason, who knows? You know, if there was some sort of like mechanic in kayfabe where mid-card champions can cash in their mid-card title for a shot at the world title, make more sense. And then the U.S. title's vacated, and he gets a shot at the world title. And if he fails, he doesn't have a championship. You know what I mean? Like, he can.
Logan Paul would never ever do that.
No, yeah, he wouldn't. So, which is a mechanic I thought would have been fun in wrestling for a long time.
Yeah.
Kind of based on the TNA had something like this, right?
Feast or Fired.
Feast or Fired, yeah.
Which they should bring back for weeks. I want to see.
Well, they did one in Impact 1000 just recently.
Yeah, and that was a guy who's leaving. So.
I guess that's true. Yeah. Well, because his excursion was over. It was kind of obvious he was going to leave. Yeah, that's it for SmackDown. You want to move on and make some predictions?
Of course. I love me some predictions.
All right. We got a huge weekend in wrestling. It is going to be King and Queen of the Ring.
Too many events that Sunday.
And then Double or Nothing. So what we are going to do is we're going to predict both of those shows. Give me a second. I'm fixing something on our screen on my thing here. Okay. First, we have Lyra Valkyria versus either Bianca Belair or Nia Jax. So, Shane, who are you picking in this one?
Probably Lyra Valkyria. You know,
Valkyria.
It seems like, you know, you never had a Queen of the Ring really ever. I mean, I think ever.
We've had one. We've had Zelina Vega.
Yeah, and they never. Queen Zelina was kind of a.
Yeah.
This feels like Lyra might become Queen Lyra for the rest of her career.
For a while, at least, yeah. Go on a Queen Booker or King Booker, King Macho or Macho King kind of run, yeah.
Oh, I feel like a Jerry King Lawler type run too.
Jerry King Lawler type thing,
where he just becomes her character.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do Bianca. I think they probably should do Lyra, but I think they're gonna go Bianca because I think it's gonna be one that is the established star. One that is kind of helping make somebody.
That's the way to put the established stars King of the Ring. Though that's the thing.
The King of the Ring, it could be that. So speaking of the King of the Ring, it is Gunther versus either Randy Orton or Tama Tonga.
Oh gosh.
Make your pick. Who do you got?
Oh,
Could be any of the three.
Tama Tonga, yeah. No, Gunther. It's Gunther.
Yeah, it's Gunther. I don't see anybody else winning.
Literally, to me, it's either it's in like out of the three, it's Gunther, Tama Tonga, Randy.
Oh, I think it's Gunther, Randy, Tama.
I don't think
I could see them doing Randy just because it adds another accomplishment to his Hall of Fame resume.
I guess, yeah.
You know what I mean? Just one of those.
Had to be Gunther to get to it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Kind of like when Cena won Money in the Bank. Just like another thing to put on the list of things he did.
Yeah.
Next, we have 3 title matches. First, Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan for the Women's World title. I don't think you quite pulled the trigger on Liv yet.
No, maybe next.
Maybe next pay-per-view.
Scotland.
Maybe
you play the more of the mind games.
Yeah. Yep. Maybe Money in the Bank, something like that.
By then she'll get Dom.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going Becky as well. Is that where you're going? Yeah. Okay. For the Intercontinental title, we have a triple threat here: Sami Zayn versus Big Bronson Reed versus Chad Gable.
This is Gable.
This is Gable?
This is all Gable.
I think Zayn holds on to the title. I think maybe he pins Bronson, though, so they can keep doing Gable Zayn for the summer. Maybe in Scotland, Otis screws Gable over, and then maybe at Money in the Bank, something happens a week to SummerSlam where Gable finally wins. I don't know.
I think the Creeds intervene with Otis and Akira trying to get to intervene in the match. I think the Creeds stop that.
Okay.
So I think Gable pins Bronson Reed, and then you continue.
And that sets up Sammy continuing on because he didn't lose. I like that. And then the main event, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes versus the social media superstar Logan Paul. I mean, it's gonna be Cody Rhodes. There's no way they put the title on Logan Paul. What world do you think we live in? All right, moving on to Double or Nothing. The first match I have here on the card, we have Orange Cassidy versus Trent Beretta 2. First of all, do you care about this at all? No, it doesn't excite me in the slightest. The one match was fun because they had to do a story around Chuck Taylor retiring. But now that Chuck Taylor's gone, this entire Trent Beretta heel run is pointless. Yeah. So who do you think is going to win?
Orange
Cassidy. I think Trent's going to win.
No, I
I
think Trent's going to win too.
Because it's going to set up a trilogy.
I hope not.
There's probably going to be a third one. I bet there will be something at Forbidden Door that's like Orange Cassidy teaming with Chaos against Trent Beretta and some New Japan heels.
Oh no!
Maybe Team DK.
Okay.
Then not House of Torture. Keep House of Torture far away from that show.
Well, did you see what Evil said?
What did Evil say?
He wants to fight Tony Khan.
Never mind. Evil can fight Tony Khan. That's it though. No, you know what? Evil and Kanemaru. No, not Kanemaru.
Dick Togo.
Dick Togo. Evil and Dick Togo versus Tony and Shad Khan. But I think maybe it sets up something there, and then either at All In or on the road to All In, we get the third match between OC and Trent. Next up, we have an IWGP World Title Eliminator that should just be an IWGP World Title match. John Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita.
Moxley.
Mox wins, probably. Maybe they set up something, but Mox wins. Next, we have the barbed wire steel cage match for the TNT title between the Rated R superstar Adam Copeland and Malachi Black, representing honoring the House of Black.
Get it right.
I don't see Cope dropping the title yet.
I don't see Malachi doing the job.
So you're gonna go Malachi?
That doesn't work for him, brother. All
right, we'll see how that goes. We're very, split on some of these. Usually we're pretty close. Next up, we have the AEW Women's title. Toni Storm, Serena Deeb. It's Tony, right?
It's Tony.
Yeah, it's Tony time. She's timeless. We got to go Toni Storm. For the AEW International title, we have the Messiah of the Backbreaker, Roderick Strong, versus the Billy Goat Will Ospreay.
Is it time?
I think Ospreay takes the title.
Yeah.
I think Ospreay takes the title, and
I think so
Adam
too.
Cole gets real mad at Roderick Strong.
I can't wait for End of Hardy to come back. So.
Yeah. Next, we have Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné for the TBS title.
I fear that it is time for Mercedes Moné to win.
I mean, yeah, I think...
Sadly.
I think Willow probably should win, but I think Mercedes will win.
Yeah,
that's what I think
it is.
For the AEW World title, we have Swerve Strickland versus Father of the Year, Christian Cage.
It's Swerve.
Yeah, it's Swerve. He doesn't drop the title to Christian.
It'd be very funny because Swerve's father is not in the picture, but...
Yeah. Finally, we have Anarchy in the Arena. Team Elite, which is, of course, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, the Young Bucks, the Scapegoat Jack Perry, and Kazuchika Okada, versus Team AEW, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, FTR, and Darby Allin. Who is winning Anarchy in the Arena?
The Elite.
Yeah, probably the Elite.
Begrudgingly.
Yeah.
Every adjective I can use to say how much I do not want them to win.
But this is going to build to Danielson, Okada, and Wembley, right?
Probably.
Okay. That makes sense. Which I wish it would be Danielson, Nigel McGuinness, and Wembley, but can't get everything.
Unless.
Danielson, Nigel, and Wembley.
Unless.
Danielson, Okada, and Chicago.
Unless.
Triple threat.
Kenny is cleared by then.
And we do Kenny Okada and Wembley?
Kenny Okada, Wembley. There, you have to do Kenny Okada, Wembley.
And Danielson.
That is your biggest match.
Maybe Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness.
If he's cleared.
If he can wrestle. All right, so those are our picks. Next up, we're going to do a little new segment for the show, which is this week, as I was exploring the world of wrestling, either online or watching shows, I wrote down a few random notes I had that normally would be things I text to you, but I thought, you know what, let's write them down, let's talk about them on the show. First, I hate AEW's timer. I don't like that they show it because it tells me, the viewer, that these matches go a predetermined amount of time.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? I know that, but when I'm watching the show, I want to immerse myself in it, and I don't want to feel like I know, well, the timer said that in 12 minutes it's the Swerve Strickland contract signing, so that means this match that's starting right now can't go longer than 12 minutes. I don't like that. So you can say at the beginning of the show, top of the hour will be Swerve, the middle hour or whatever, top of the second hour will be the Swerve contract signing, but then don't keep putting that timer up there. I don't like that. Next, WWE's production improvements have led to AEW stepping up their camera work, which is really cool. The Ospreay Roddy promo This week there were a lot of cool camera angles they used, kind of more traditional TV camera angles where you saw over one guy's shoulder. I really liked that. It's really weird to make up a pregnancy rumor. There was a rumor this week that Bianca Belair might be pregnant. Weird thing to make up a rumor about, whoever did that.
It all started because Montez Ford put father of 3 in his Instagram bio.
An accident?
I don't know.
Or is he counting Angelo Dawkins?
He has to, because he made it father of 7.
Okay.
So,
Tama Tonga's Ewok noises. We don't have to spend a lot of time on this, but did you see this?
Yes,
the weird noises he was making.
I did.
What was the point?
He's always made weird noises, though.
Okay,
go watch one.
I guess, is he doing it because he can't scream curse words on WWE?
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, that was really weird. Was it supposed to be intimidating?
I don't. Was him yelling swear words in Wrestle Kingdom intimidating?
It was more intimidating than that.
I mean,
the weird Ewok noises
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it could be some Polynesian thing that we just don't know about.
Maybe that's true. Polynesians, speak up. Let's hear about this. Triple main event is a dumb term. AEW has been marketing Double or Nothing with a triple main event, the TBS title, the AEW title, and Anarchy in the Arena.
Double main event is dumb.
Anything more than one main event is dumb, because there's only one,
and they have a co-main event.
Because you know what? In X amount of years, when someone's looking at the cage match of Double or Nothing, whatever match goes on last, they're going to be like, oh, that main evented Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Right? We don't talk about, even if maybe, I don't know if it was, but let's say WrestleMania 25 was marketed as a double main event, but Orton, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels Taker. We don't talk about Orton, Triple H, but we know it's the main event.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know. And ejecting your own minions is one of the funniest things I've ever seen a heel do, which Chad Gable did last night when Tozawa and Maxine Dupree would not help him.
Because it's Chad Gable and he's going to be the top heel.
So those are Jayden's miscellaneous notes for the week. Next up, favorite things of the week for each of us. So, of course, if you're new to the show, this is where we hand out a bronze, silver, and gold award. I give out the bronze, silver, and gold hot dogs. Shane does the handshakes. What gets the bronze handshake this week?
I just give it to Chad Gable in general.
Yeah, I think originally when we were going to record yesterday, I was going to give the bronze to Mox and Claudio, but I got to give it to Chad Gable also. Like, he was just too good this week. What is going to get the silver handshake?
I gave it to Will and Roddy's promo. I really liked it.
Okay. I also gave it to Will Ospreay, but I gave it to Will Ospreay and Shane Taylor's match.
That was also really good. I guess make mine is Will Ospreay.
Just Will Ospreay?
Yeah.
All right. I can give you that. And then the gold.
Kazuchika Okada.
All right. I'll give you that. Okada and Dax, or just Okada?
Yeah, it's the match.
Okay. My gold was Orton versus Mello.
Also a really good match.
Both were great matches this week. Next up, we have the lightning round. This is where I tell Shane what matches are going to happen this week, and he tells me how excited.
Nothing in a Saudi show?
How about right now? Just give me your overall for the whole card. How excited are you for the both shows?
I'm
And which match are you most excited for on each show?
Anarchy in the Arena in the finals.
Okay,
there you go.
The King finals.
Yes. I'm gonna say for Double Nothing an 8, and for King of the Ring I'm gonna say like a 6.
Okay, I was thinking for Double or Nothing like a 9, 9.5 maybe. I'm pumped for this show. And for King and Queen, I think I'm also a 6.
I'm not gonna get up in time.
And I think if it's Gunther or Orton, that's my most excited match. If it's not, it's probably Cody Logan, because that'll be a great match, even though we know Cody's going to win.
Gunther will wrestle Tama Tonga stiff, and Tama Tonga will bring back New Japan Tama Tonga.
And then I'm most excited for Roderick Strong and Will Ospreay. That speaks to who I am as a wrestling fan.
Yeah,
that is my kind of thing.
Look at the Anarchy the Arena matches and tell me,
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for that too. I understand that one. NXT has happened. Neither of us have watched it. So do you want to go through the NXT matches or just skip it? It's up to you. Skip them? Okay. Next week on Dynamite, we will have Matt Sydal versus Konosuke Takeshita. Ranking out of 10.
Where is this?
Dynamite. I don't know where in the world. I have no idea.
I would say Minnesota. They usually bring out for St. Louis. I'm gonna give it like a 7. Yeah,
It is in
7.
Bakersfield, California.
I'll give it a 7.
Okay. Mariah May and Toni Storm versus the Outcasts, Harley Cameron and Saraya.
Oh, I'm so tired about hearing anything to do with Ronnie Radke and Saraya. I'm done. 2.
Okay. Malachi Black versus Kyle O'Reilly.
9.
But say that might be the Ty Dillinger 10 of the week.
We'll see.
Katsuyori Shibata versus Brian Keith versus Hook. Winner faces Jericho for the FTW title at Double or Nothing. I just didn't put that in our predictions because we don't know who we'll be facing yet.
I mean, if it's Shibata, it's Shibata. I can't give a Shibata match less than an 8.
All right, that's fair. Bryan Danielson versus Satnam Singh.
Honestly, a 9.
Yeah, I'm juiced for this.
I want to see how Bryan Danielson will carry Satnam Singh to a good match.
Yep. Roderick Strong and Trent Beretta versus Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay. Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay would be a great
That's
tag
a great tag team.
That's a great tag
Honestly,
team.
sadly, you put Trent Beretta in this, and I'm like, so I'm going to give it like a 6.
All right. And then Swerve Strickland versus Nick Wayne 2.
Solid 9.
So 9.
That's
All right.
a good match.
On SmackDown, we will see the Street Profits face Tongaloa and Solo Sikoa of the Bloodline.
You have a tag team in there. You have a tag team.
The Girls of Destiny? Well, Tom is busy.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I guess do it next week. But
To do it next week when you have the tag team together, a 5.
That's probably fair. Bailey versus Chelsea Green.
Ooh, a 7.
I would say this is like a sneaky 8. That's interesting.
It's going to be a surprisingly good match for most people.
Nia Jax versus Bianca Belair.
Can you give it a no?
Yeah, sure. No out of 10. And Randy Orton versus Tama Tonga.
I feel like Randy.
He's one of the GOATs. You got to give this one a
I
score.
think Randy could bring out what Tama Tonga used to have, which was a skill. So I'm going to give it an 8.
All right. And then on Raw, I guess we'll record before Raw next week, so we don't got to worry about that one. So title of 10 of the week, Malachi and Kyle.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll up that to a 10. Our last segment here, and this is a segment that we are adding, so it's a brand new one. Match recommendation of the week. All time. Just something for people to go back and look at. Something we'll try to base it on what's happening in the news or what's happening on TV, and we'll see where we get. I thought Randy Orton is in the King of the Ring tournament. Christian Cage wrestling at Double or Nothing. I think we should send people back to 2011. Really check out any of the matches in their series, except for Money in the Bank. It's like a DQ finish. It's not that great of a one.
Yeah, I was there for that one. It was kind of boring.
So I put a really Capital Punishment is the one that I like the most, but you can't go wrong with Over the Limit, Capital Punishment, or SummerSlam 2011.
I mean, you should
Christian versus Randy Orton.
You should watch Money in the Bank 2011 if you haven't seen it already. But that match isn't the best.
Yeah.
It kind of ends abruptly. Christian does a weird heel turn in it.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's our recommendation. Next, we have, I guess the show's coming to an end here.
Yeah.
So, we can announce at the end of this month, we'll be bringing back our classic reviews with King of the Ring 1998. So that'll be not this upcoming Friday, but the Friday after on May 31st. That's exciting. Can't wait. Love doing classic reviews. Thank you for listening. If you found us, check us. Make sure to like, subscribe, do all that. Leave a review. And most of all, remember to enjoy wrestling.